Hey there, Hydrohaven family! Not everyone is blessed with a sun-drenched garden, but that doesn't mean you can't grow your own delicious vegetables. Whether you're dealing with towering trees, neighboring buildings, or just an awkwardly positioned plot, I'm here to show you that shade doesn't have to be the enemy of a productive garden. In fact, some vegetables actually prefer those cooler, shadier spots, especially during the heat of summer. Today, I'm sharing my top 10 vegetables that thrive in low-light conditions, complete with growing tips, variety recommendations, and harvesting advice tailored specifically for shade gardens. Let's turn those challenging spots into productive growing areas. Understanding shade gardening. Before diving into our vegetable list, let's quickly clarify what we mean by shade. There are generally three types: partial shade, which is 3 to 4 hours of direct sunlight daily; dappled shade, which is filtered light through tree canopies; and full shade, which is less than 3 hours of direct sunlight. Most vegetables need at least some sunlight to produce well, so true full shade, like the north side of a building, remains challenging. However, all the vegetables on our list can perform admirably in partial or dappled shade with the right care. Remember that morning sun is typically better than afternoon sun for shade-tolerant vegetables. Now let's explore the stars of the shade garden. Leafy greens are the undisputed kings and queens of shade gardens. Since they don't need to produce fruit, they require less energy from the sun. Spinach actually prefers cooler conditions and will often bolt or go to seed in full sun during warm weather. In shade, it grows more slowly but produces sweeter leaves for a longer harvest period. Best varieties for shade: Bloomsdale, Tai, and Emperor are particularly shade-tolerant and bolt-resistant. Plant spinach in early spring and again in late summer. In shadier gardens, you can extend your spinach season well into summer without bolting concerns. Space plants about 3 to 5 inches apart and keep soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. For harvesting, pick outer leaves as needed, allowing inner leaves to continue growing. This cut-and-come-again method can provide multiple harvests from the same plants. Now let's talk about lettuce, a year-round salad staple. Like spinach, lettuce thrives in cooler conditions and often performs better in partial shade, especially during hot months when full sun can cause bitterness and bolting. Best varieties for shade include loose-leaf varieties like red sales, black-seeded Simpson, and oak leaf. These typically outperform head lettuces in shade. For romaine types, you might want to try Little Gem or Jericho. Growing tips: sow seeds thinly, about 1/4 inch deep. Once seedlings reach 2 inches tall, thin them to 6 to 8 inches apart for loose-leaf varieties and 10 to 12 inches for heading types. Succession plant every 2 weeks for a continuous harvest. Harvest strategy: for loose-leaf varieties, harvest outer leaves when they reach 4 to 6 inches tall. Now let's talk about kale, the shade-loving superfood. Kale's incredible hardiness extends to shade tolerance, making it a nutritional powerhouse for low-light gardens. Best varieties for shade include lacinato, also known as dinosaur kale, red Russian, and winter boar. All of these perform really well in partial shade. Plant kale in rich, well-draining soil with plenty of organic matter. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart. They need room to grow even in shade. Side dress with compost midway through the growing season. Begin harvesting when leaves reach the size of your hand, taking outer leaves first. Kale develops a sweeter flavor after light frost, so don't rush to harvest everything before winter in cooler climates. Asian greens like bok choy tatsoi and mizuna grow quickly even in lower light conditions. Tokyo bakana, tatsoi, mizuna, and komatsuna are all excellent choices for shade. Sow seeds 1/4 inch deep, 1 inch apart, then thin seedlings to 6 to 10 inches apart depending on the variety. Asian greens prefer consistent moisture and benefit from nitrogen-rich fertilizers. Many Asian greens can be harvested as baby leaves after just 21 days, or allowed to mature for 40 to 50 days. Arugula peppery greens for partial shade. Arugula's peppery flavor actually mellows slightly when grown in shade, making it more palatable for some while still providing that distinctive taste. Best varieties for shade: Astro, Sylvetta, Wild Arugula, and Apollo all perform well. Growing tips: sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep and 1 inch apart, then thin to 3 to 4 inches. Arugula grows quickly, so succession plant every 2 to 3 weeks. Begin harvesting when leaves reach 2 to 3 inches. For baby arugula, harvest the entire plant. For mature leaves, take outer leaves first. Root vegetables, underground treasures. While root vegetables generally prefer full sun, several varieties can produce acceptable yields in partial shade. Radishes, for instance, are these fast-growing roots that can thrive in as little as 3 to 4 hours of sunlight. Best varieties for shade include Cherry Belle, French Breakfast, and Easter Egg. These varieties mature quickly even in lower light. For growing tips, sow seeds 1/2 inch deep and 1 inch apart. Then, thin to 2 inches apart once seedlings emerge. Keep soil consistently moist to prevent splitting and pithiness. For your harvest strategy, harvest when roots reach marble to golf ball size, typically 21 to 30 days after planting. Don't leave radishes in the ground too long as they become woody and unpleasantly spicy. Now let's talk about beets. Beets can produce smaller but still flavorful roots in partial shade. Best varieties for shade: Detroit Dark Red, Chioggia, and Early Wonder adapt better to shade. Growing tips: soak seeds for 24 hours before planting to improve germination. Sow 1/2 inch deep and 1 inch apart, then thin to 3 to 4 inches. Beets need consistent moisture and benefit from a side dressing of compost mid-season. Harvest strategy: in shade, expect roots to develop more slowly. Carrots, patient root crop for dappled shade. Carrots can succeed in dappled shade, though they'll grow more slowly than in full sun. Best varieties for shade: shorter varieties like Oxheart, Paris Market, and Chantenay types perform better than long varieties in shadier conditions. Growing tips: prepare soil deeply, removing stones and clumps that could cause forking. Sow seeds thinly, about a 1/4 inch deep. Thin carefully to 2 to 3 inches apart. In shade, carrots need extremely consistent moisture, especially during germination. Harvest strategy: expect to add 2 to 3 weeks to the maturity date listed on seed packets. Peas spring and fall shade crop. Peas can perform surprisingly well in partial shade, particularly in regions with hot summers. Beans, bush varieties for partial shade. While pole beans need more sun, bush beans can produce decent harvests with just 3 to 4 hours of direct sunlight. Herbs, shade-tolerant flavor enhancers. Many culinary herbs not only tolerate but sometimes prefer partial shade, especially in hot climates. Remember that shade gardening is about working with your conditions, not fighting against them. By choosing the right vegetables and providing appropriate care, you can create a productive garden even in challenging light conditions. Don't forget to subscribe to our Hydrohaven channel for more specialized gardening content, and share this guide with fellow gardeners facing shade challenges. Drop us a comment below with your own shade gardening successes or questions. We'd love to hear from you and continue building our knowledgeable gardening community. Happy shade gardening!